The Arkham series has had a massive influence on gaming and superhero games in particular. However, the series would eventually have to come to an end with Arkham Knight as its latest release in the series in 2015. However, today we are focusing on where this tale all began, and heading back a couple years to 2009 with the release of Batman Arkham Asylum. Batman Arkham Asylum was developed by Rocksteady Studios and published by Warner Bros. The game took heavy influence from Arkham Asylum, A Serious House on Serious Earth, which was a graphic novel released in 1989 written by Grant Morrison and illustrated by Dave McKean. The game is set in the titular Arkham Asylum as the Joker starts a riot and locks off the entire island from the rest of Gotham City, leaving Batman trapped in a madhouse containing all of his most dangerous villains. The game set the standard for all superhero games to follow as it was a massive success, achieving a Metacritic score of 92 out of 100, and IGN called it the greatest comic book game of all time. However, we all know how reliable IGN can be when it comes to reviewing games. So, after playing it for myself, I can tell you what I thought. I would like to specify that for this video, I played the PC Game of the Year edition from Steam, which may have led to one weird glitch at the end of the game that I will quickly mention here. When the Joker injected himself for the final encounter, my screen cut to black and spawned me in the final boss arena with a Joker that didn't move. I had to restart from my last checkpoint in order to get the correct cutscene to play and the boss to start properly. This happened during my first playthrough and my playthrough for this video, and I'm unsure what it is. If anyone does, please let me know in the comments. That's all I wanted to mention, as it was the only glitch I saw in my 5-hour playthrough. Let's start our review off with possibly the most influential part of this game, the Freeflow Combat system. The combat system is set up on two main buttons, attacking and countering. This system has a rhythm to it, and button mashing will lead you to losing your combo, so I lost it a lot. The game also includes a few other abilities like throws, takedowns and ground takedowns to spice up your combos. There's a real desire when engaging with it to perfect the combat and get the highest combo you can, which I clearly haven't. The game doesn't have too many combat encounters, which means the systems never get old. Later games in the series or from other developers would expand upon this system and make it better, but for the first ever game to use this system, it's an incredible base to build from, and a lot of games that I think have used this combat system better have only made minor changes since the core of the combat is so incredible to begin with. It's nowhere near as complex as Devil May Cry or Bayonetta, but through its simplicity, it creates a system that very quickly becomes addicting to get better at. Any combo dropped is another failure in the player's eyes. The game has no actual punishment for failing to combo enemies, apart from the fight taking a bit longer, but the player will naturally punish themselves due to the execution of the counter at the side of the screen, and any combat upgrades having combo requirements to activate. An entire game of combat would get boring though, so what else does Batman do? Act as the ultimate predator, with criminals as his prey. Stealth segments. These segments have us stalking our prey from high above their heads, grabbing them from gargoyles, or skulking around the vents, or even just out of sight. These sections are what the game is mostly about, which makes sense given the circumstances. The stealth in this game was maybe not the deepest compared to other games in the stealth genre, but I can't deny that it's incredibly fun. Hearing the guards get more and more panicked as their comrades slowly drop one by one.
Batman's on the way. Reward for whoever bags the bat.
He's gone! He grappled up! He could be anywhere!
They begin to group up and make the stealth more tense and difficult. In later sections of the game they start taking hostages, meaning you can't be spotted at all without risking their safety. They also introduce alarm collars that make a loud noise whenever someone's taken out. The stealth is kept interesting by not having enemy vision cones. You have to decide when the best time to strike is, just like our Dark Knight. The game will offer no help in this regard and lets you plan out your approach and execute it. The rooms often have a similar structure with the top, middle and bottom floor that enemies can traverse, with a few weak walls to destroy or vents in the floors to hide in. And we can't forget the gargoyles. Later sections will spice up stealth by removing some of your options, like gargoyles exploding if you sit on them too long. However, these areas never become boring due to the different contexts and locations of these arenas. Unfortunately, the same cannot be said for the most effective strategy. Early on, you can unlock an ability called the Inverted Takedown. This allows you to hang from gargoyles and take down enemies that walk underneath you. This is the easiest move to pull off in stealth and is often the most efficient way to take down guards quickly and safely. The gadgets are not all that helpful since they will only incapacitate guards for a limited time or they take too long to set up. Explosive gel is quite effective, but takes a while to spray and get an enemy to walk on top of it, and the other gadgets don't really help in stealth. Enemies will be armed, but they aren't the brightest. Even if they spot you, all you have to do is jump between a few gargoyles and they've lost you. But that doesn't stop it being a tense affair. Like dropping a combo, being spotted feels like a failure, despite the punishment only being a bit of health lost. The reason the player will punish themselves with these systems is because, in your head, you know Batman wouldn't miss a combo or get spotted by some random thug. It's almost as if by playing this game, the player attempts to embody the role of the Dark Knight in every aspect of gameplay, and when this role is not played, they feel like they failed in some way. I love that for years of playing this game, this never even became apparent to me until I wrote this exact review. The two types of gameplay are interspersed with interesting exploration and traversal across the entirety of Arkham Island, obtaining gadgets and working your way through the Bat's entire rogues gallery. Harley Quinn, Scarecrow, Killer Croc, Poison Ivy, and even Bane. They're all here to battle the Bat as part of the Joker's scheme. And of course, I can't fail to mention the incredible voice talent in this game with the best Batman, Kevin Conroy, and the best Joker, Mark Hamill. Unfortunately, one of these incredible actors is no longer with us, but he left a lasting impact on fans of Batman all around the world, using his voice to inspire us all to do better, and becoming one of the most iconic superhero voices of all time. You will be missed, Kevin Conroy. Rest in peace. While our main cast are fantastic, the side characters could be better. Dr. Penelope Young and Aaron Cash fill very basic roles in the plot and don't get much characterization beyond it. Meanwhile, the rogues have uneasy relationships with each other and ulterior motives for helping the Joker. The island is split up into three distinct sections: Arkham North, which houses intensive treatment, Arkham West, which is the penitentiary and medical facility, and Arkham East, which holds the mansion and botanical gardens. All these buildings act as our levels that we switch between and backtrack through over the course of the night, starting in intensive treatment and seeing what each building has to offer. What villains will we fight? How many goons will we fight? And what lurks beneath it all? Killer Croc has one of the most unique sections of the game, with you entering his domain, going from predator to prey. You have to slow down, take your time, and watch your back for when he jumps out of the water. A quick batarang will take care of him, but not forever. On your way to the exit, he'll smash the boards behind you. Now you can run. Run to the end and drop him into further depths. Scarecrow's no joke either. His sections involve being dragged into limbo, a nightmare realm, having to escape his gaze and reach the light to strike back. These show up a few times throughout the game, with one example being particularly effective. The best fake out in gaming history. Being booted back to the beginning of the game with the roles switched around, leading to a game over which moves the plot forward. Well known and ineffective today, but fantastic at the time. When I originally played this on console, I genuinely thought something went wrong with the game and it started again, losing me hours of progress. The game's art style is fantastic and has held up really well all these years. Most days now when I think of Batman characters, these are the versions I think of. The designs don't stray too far away from the base designs of these characters, but they still feel unique with the small details added in. The only thing about the game that I can't get over is that occasionally it looks like someone has smeared Vaseline all over the screen, with some rather soft looking edges, making an overall hazy picture. The architecture of the island is amazing. Gothic mansions, cold clinical hallways, and even some amazing clifftop vistas. Boss fights are okay. Many of them follow the same formula of a big monster with some goons you have to take out in between. Also, the Titan fights are repeated a couple times, which does get quite annoying. Luckily, as the series went on, boss fights would get more interesting, but the one that still frustrates me is the Joker. He and Batman are a dichotomy. Two sides of the same coin, order and chaos, black and white, Dante and Virgil, and yet his boss fight is functionally the same as Bane. These two should have had polar opposite approaches, but here they merged together. I think a better idea for the Joker boss would have been one more akin to a chase than a punch-up. with the Joker setting up elaborate puzzles that you get past in order to land a blow before he runs off again. That would have been not only more satisfying, with a long process making the victory all the sweeter, but also far more in character for these two foes. The section of the game I pay the least attention to is by far the Riddler Challenges. I've never liked these in any of the Arkham games. They feel like a meaningless collectible to annoy those who like to 100% everything rather than a fun puzzle. It's perfectly in character for the Riddler, but it just feels like a waste when he's never actually part of the main plot and can essentially just be ignored. Which, now that I think about it, is also very in character. The game also has a separate challenge mode where you can partake in combat or predator encounters with your score being tallied up at the end. The best part of this mode is being able to get an endless amount of Freeflow Combat for not only practice, but also just to get a kick of feeling cool. And that concludes my thoughts on the Dark Knight's first success in video game landscape, and I managed to talk about the whole thing without saying it makes you feel like Batman. If you enjoyed my review, please leave a like down below, and if you agree or disagree with me, feel free to leave a comment. But for now, I bid you farewell, and I'll see you all next time. Bye! Hello everyone, welcome back. We're here for the ending ramble portion that you've all been very much accustomed to at this point. So, Batman Arkham Asylum, this video's been in the works for quite a while. I recorded this early this year, I think, maybe partially last year. Can't quite remember, but essentially I've had the footage for Arkham Asylum for ages. And I could never just write a script that I was quite happy with. This one I'm pretty happy with how it flowed and everything like that. I didn't go into a lot of detail with some things like the plot or anything like that. But again, like some other videos I've done, I didn't feel it necessary. It didn't fit the natural progression of the video, and I feel like I covered everything pretty well. Only thing I didn't cover was how cool the opening walking section is to get you accustomed to the world and everything, and to really draw you into the atmosphere. That part's really cool. I did manage to use some footage of it when talking about the art style and the design and stuff, but yeah. Also with this video I tried to step up my editing a little. I hope you guys noticed there's a couple more smoother transitions and more graphics on screen and things like that. I nearly killed Premiere with the portion with the map, because there's just so many layers on that, that the arrow animation nearly made Premiere be like, nope, we're not doing this anymore. So that part was it was all really fun to do, and to try and, yeah, kind of step it up a bit, even within these shorter videos, and not just leave, some good editing to the bigger projects. I want to put more work into everything. I'm not sure what the next video is going to be. I've got a couple that I'm thinking of. Yeah, I don't know. I'll see what I'm in the mood for, but Batman Arkham Asylum was just, it was just the right time to sort of get that video done, and I'm really happy with how it's turned out. Anyway, I will let you guys go now, and I'll finish putting this into the video, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!